For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Hey guys, today we're taking a look at the Holy Bible. I will say this up front, this is not going to be a standard review. I'm going to be talking about a little bit of different things. I'll do a quick overview of what I normally have been doing for my reviews. Yeah, and I should say too, this isn't a standard review. I was kind of up in the air about if I wanted to do this one or not, but I figured I want to review every book that I read, and I just finished reading this version of the Bible. And unlike all the other ones where I read it like cover to cover within a certain amount of time, I basically did this one a chapter a day for the last, it's been over a year now. Just because I miss days sometimes, but yeah, so that is why I have not, it's been probably over a year since I read Matthew 1, right? So you realize that too. But I'll go into a little bit who's the author. Well, it was written by a number of authors, but I will broadly say God. What's it about? Well, it kind of talks about why because of your sin, you deserve to go to hell, but fortunately, through the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, you don't have to. So that's pretty cool. Pros and cons. Pro, you get to go to heaven. The only con about this book is that everyone hasn't read it. And would I recommend it? Yes, I believe the Bible is the most important book that has ever and will ever be written. Full stop. So yes, everyone should read it on this planet Earth. So I'm a little biased, but yeah, there's my little intro. I'm going to be talking more. I'm happy to talk more about that if you want. Comment below and maybe I can make a video about it if you're interested. I'm no expert or anything, but the main reason I wanted to chat a little bit about this is kind of a cool version of the Bible. It is the Evangelical Heritage version. It was put out by the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod. I grew up going to a Wells Lutheran school and grew up in the church and all that stuff. I actually went to grade school, then I went to Fox Valley Lutheran High School, and then I went to Martin Luther College for 1 year to study to be a pastor, actually, before I went off to go the music route in my career. So, yeah, I'm pretty into this stuff, you could say. But growing up, I always used the 1984 edition, the NIV New International Version. They came out with a new version in 2011, and the Wisconsin Synod was kind of split on whether or not to use it. They didn't like it as much, but the 1984 edition was out of print, so a lot of people were like, whoa, let's just make one of our own. And then some people used the 2011 version, which is what I did, and then some people used the English ESV, English Standard Version, I think that is. But they created this version, the Evangelical Heritage version, which is produced by the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod and is published by Northwestern Publishing House. That is the publishing house for the Wells. So anyways, this is a cool Bible, I think, just because it's from the Synod. I actually know personally some of the people who worked on the translations, and this is taken directly from the original Hebrew and Greek up to, the oldest versions we have. This is getting a little bit into what I don't know as much about, but I think they used a lot of the Septuagint. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm mispronouncing that really badly. But anyways, I'll just read a little bit of the beginning on this. And I should say too, this is the preliminary edition of the English Heritage Version. This is just the New Testament and the Psalms. I love Psalms. That's definitely my favorite book of the Bible in the Old Testament. and it's one of my absolute favorites. So I'm glad they included the Psalms. It's just beautiful, beautiful. And maybe it's because I'm a musician too. I have a spot for David and the Psalms. But anyways, I'm glad they included that with the entire New Testament. And this is the first time I've actually read cover to cover the New Testament. I still have not done that with the Old Testament. Anyways, they do have a full version now. When I purchased this, they had only completed the translations of the New Testament and Psalms. And like I said, this is the preliminary edition, so it might be slightly altered now that they have the full edition out. But for the most part, it's going to be the same. I'll just read some of this. Our translation is called Evangelical because its highest goal is to proclaim the good news of the gospel of salvation through faith in the atoning work of Jesus Christ, God's eternal Son. Blah, blah, blah. Our translation is called Heritage because this word looks to the past, the present, and the future. Heritage expresses our respect for the generations of Christians and for the faithful translators who have passed the Bible down to us. We are aware that we, in the present, are building on that foundation which they have laid. As the old saying goes, we can see so far because we are standing on the shoulders of giants. The term heritage also looks to the future. Gospel is a precious inheritance that is to be passed from generation to generation until Christ returns. It is our prayer that this translation will have a part in that great mission which the Lord has left for his church. So, and it goes into a little bit more on this edition if you're interested in learning more about it. But yeah, I think this is a really cool edition of the Bible. For me, I had to memorize a lot of these verses like when I was growing up, and reading them not sound exactly the same way was always kind of interesting to me, like, oh, okay. But I think it's cool too that the meaning is not lost. It's just a different way of saying it, right? So I thought that was kind of cool. And I'm excited to eventually, this is the only EHV Bible that I have. I do eventually want to read cover to cover the whole EHV, the finalized edition for the Old Testament and New Testament. But that won't be for a while, especially if I keep up with the chapter a day thing. That'll be 2 years if I stick to it. Maybe even more than that, actually. But anyways, this is a fantastic book, and like I said, I was being a little jokingly, but I truly believe everything that I said, that the Bible is the most important book that has ever been written and will ever be written. So if you have not read it, I highly encourage you to, and I'm always here if you have any questions or anything on that stuff. But anyways, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. As far as the translation goes, I'm biased, but I like the NIV 1984 edition the best because that's what I grew up with probably, and I think honestly that's the only reason. This is a good edition though, and again, I'm no Bible scholar by any means. I think this reads easier than the NIV 2011. I don't know. In my opinion, NIV 2011 is fine. I'm not a huge fan of the English Standard Version, just how it reads personally. 84 is great. This one's great too. I don't like the King James Version. It's hard to read, just like in 400 years from now, no one's going to want to read this because language changes and stuff, right? So I think it's always important to update that, but make sure you don't lose the meaning within that. So yeah, there's my little review of the Holy Bible. I'm not qualified to be doing this, reviewing the Bible, but kind of a cool edition. Just because I bought that at Martin Luther College, actually, New Ulm, Minnesota. I bought that right when it came out, a couple months after. So, yeah, well-deserved spot on my shelf. That is the coolest book that I've ever read and ever will read. Like I said that a million times. So anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any other videos with me. Comment below if you have any questions on anything. I will link below Either that one, or maybe I'll link something. I'll link below somewhere where you can purchase the Bible if you're interested. If you don't want to buy the Bible, there are hundreds of websites that have the Bible out there for free. BibleGateway.com comes to mind, where you can literally, I think this edition is probably on there, you can pick whatever edition you want and read the Bible to your heart's content for absolutely free. Or if you want to continue growing this book as the best-selling book of all time, you can do that too by purchasing any of the editions. So anyways, thanks so much for watching. Read the Bible, and I will see you on the next one.